What's happening, Saints fans? Welcome to another edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. We are live on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in, no matter where you are or how you're watching. We always appreciate the Who Dat Nation for making us a part of their day, but every single Wednesday around 4 o'clock for tuning in to the live show. I got Nick Lopez, the Louisiana native, the best in the biz here at Chat Sports on the ones and twos, so be sure to show him some love in the comment section as well. But we're going to talk about Kellen Moore. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about what Skip Bayless had to say. A lot of crazy stuff in today's show. But first things first, we are in our audience build-up portion of the program. So let's get the Who Dats rolling if you guys are excited for the program. I'm going to be giving shout-outs to everyone in the chat who types Who Dat, because if you're typing Who Dat and you're able to comment, it means you're subscribed to the channel. So shout-out to Football Goats, Bread, Alex Cortez, Danny Mendoza, Mike Nintendo Masker, Joseph Benoit, Ethan, Keelan Jordan, Willie Garrison, Hunter Paget, Joseph, Keelan, Kimberly, Ethan, Jerry G, Big Duck, Rayan, Kimon. I hope I got that right. Sorry, brother. Old Testaments, Ryan, Kyron, Big Sam, Rob, Junior Badass, Mark, Brent, Kimberly, Uncle Deuce, Ryan. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep giving me some Who Dats if you guys are excited to be here. And also, reminder, hit the thumbs up icon, like today's video. 100 people watching, only 15 likes. Let's get to 25 ASAP. But big time shout outs to Big Duck, Football Goats, Doc, everybody else in between. Now, we got another question for you. I want to ask you guys about Kellen Moore. Do you like the hire? Yes or no in the comments. Just a simple yes, simple no. I want to hear from you because I know that you guys have opinions. One thing I know about us Saints fans, we're very opinionated and we're not afraid to share them. So this is your platform to share your opinions. I'm seeing yes from Danny, yes from Kimon, yes, or amazing from Danny. Hunter says yes. Junior Badass says yes. Everyone's saying yes. Old Testament, Jarrell, Ethan, Colorado, Richard, Jose, Jerry, Slick, Althea, Wiregrass, Willie, Kyron. I haven't seen a single no. Lopez, I haven't seen a single no. Everyone's saying yes. Sharon, Jose, Lionel, Sean, Kimberly, Felix, Edwin, Jay Smooth. Everyone's saying yes. So I guess the general consensus is everyone's happy. There you go. It's been a while since I think we've all been happy, Saints fans. So, we're here. Might as well enjoy it for a little bit. Jerry G says yes. The yes movement is in full effect. Yes, 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 yes. What's up, Queen Courtney? Good news, Courtney. Good news for you. We are getting your polo printed. I will have it in the mail either this weekend or Monday next week. Just great news for you. It will be in the mail here very, very soon. I got the polo picked up. We're getting the Saints Now logo printed on there for you. A black, large polo. We're going to get the print on there for you with the logo, and we're going to send it your way, Courtney, because you did send in a super chat during the watch party, and you supported us, so we're going to get that out to you very, very soon. I didn't forget about it. Just had a very, very busy end of 2024, beginning of 2025. A lot of stuff going on in my personal life and in my family life. We were out at the Super Bowl in New Orleans for a week. So, finally, we're in the offseason. I'm settled down. The dust is settled, and I'm able to get this to you, Courtney. So I'm really, really excited, and I hope you enjoy the polo. It's a nice polo. I made sure to spend a few extra bucks to get you a nicer polo. So there you go. All righty. I see a lot more yeses than nos. Can we actually get Ashton Jeanty from Danny Mendoza? That's a great question, Danny, and we're going to talk about that because I think we actually can. I thought Alvin wanted you to be our head coach from Althea. Alvin did, but Alvin didn't get what he wanted. I'm sure Alvin also wanted 1,000 yards. He didn't get that either. So, unfortunately for us, we didn't get what we wanted, but we all know where Alvin Kamara really wanted. Your boy. I'm just kidding. Hunter asking me about my thoughts on Will Howard. Well, Hunter, if you got a question, use hashtag Saints. Better yet, send in a super chat. You can get on the show. If you use hashtag Saints, don't put a space there. Hashtag Saints. You can do it in all caps, all lowercase, like that, however you want to, and then insert a question or a hot take, a trade idea, a draft idea, anything like that. But if you want to skip the line, you want us to spend a little extra time on it, send in a super chat. $2 or more, you're able to send a message. Anything less than that, it's just a sticker. But, of course, we greatly appreciate anyone who does send in a donation. But free way to get on the program for thousands and thousands of Saints fans to see. Hashtag Saints. Ask a question, share a hot take. Fun fact, we did a mailbag yesterday after Kellen Moore got hired. Over 12,000 Saints fans watched it in less than 12 hours. So if you guys want to get your opinions, your names, your faces, your hot takes, all of that, if you want any of that to be shown to thousands and tens of thousands of Saints fans, highly encourage you to get on the show. Nick Lopez is going to be keeping an eye on the mailbag questions throughout the show. We're going to be checking in, making sure we have some questions, but here is how you get on. Keelan, we will make sure we get you on the show with that question. Football Goats, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for getting in a mailbag question. We'll answer those here at the end of the show. We have a whole segment. We're going to go through all of the questions, all of the super chats, and everything like that. Danny, and get me some tickets. I wish I could get myself some tickets, brother. Jaden says, how many years do you think Kellen Moore will have? What do you mean? Like, how to do what? Like, what do you mean how many years he'll have? It's kind of like an open-ended question. I don't really know. Like, to do how many years will he have to buy a Saints hat? Well, probably should do that pretty quick. How many years does he have to completely turn this around and win a Super Bowl? I mean, I think it's an unfair expectation when you're in the situation you're in. So, I mean, I think he gets at least 3 years. And he deserves at least 3 years. That's just my thought on that one. Christian says, I'm not a Saints fan at all. I'm new here and I'm a Boise State football fan. Well, everyone, can we just say shout out to Christian? Say, hey, Christian. Shout out to Boise State football, the blue turf. Hopefully Ashton Jeanty can be a New Orleans Saint. Show him some love in the comment section. Christian, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Welcome to the family, and I hope that you tune in, and I hope you hang out because I'm a big fan of Kellen Moore. I'm excited about the hire, and, I really, really hope that you enjoy the content, my friend. Do you think that I should buy the Saints? Rain, if you can buy the Saints, do it, man, and then give me a piece of them. What's up, Christian from Aiden? Saints should just hire me, just saying from Danny. Well, Danny, I said the same thing, but I'm too smart to be the Saints head coach. All righty. We have 135 people watching. When we get 20 more likes, I need 60 likes on today's program. We can get this show on the road. So hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. Let's get to 60 likes ASAP. 41 likes, but we got to get to 60. If we can get that weigh-in right up here as well, Lopez. Let's get this party started. Like the video. We need 13 more likes. We got to get 13 more likes on today's video. Let's party like it's 2009, like we're winning Super Bowls, like we're feeling great every single day. We're at 51. I need Drew Brees more likes. I need Drew Brees number more likes to get this party started. We're going to first dive into Skip Bayless. He actually ripped and hated the hire of Kellen Moore. We're going to dive into what he said. I'm going to give my response, and it's going to get ugly. So if you guys are excited for that, hang out here for the next 10, 15 minutes. After that, mock draft roundup, draft rumors, all sorts of crazy draft stuff. Ashton Jeanty, we're talking Tyler Warren, Ted McMillan, quarterbacks, we're talking everything. So we hang out for that, and then, of course, the mailbag. We're at 58 likes. I need 2 more. Lopez is going to get us started, get us signed up and ready to roll for the next, or for this first segment. And without further ado, we're 1 away. Who's got my back? Who's going to do it? We need 1 more. Uno más. I see Queen Courtney getting a hashtag Saints in. I see Willie getting a hashtag Saints in. Jerry G says, if I was a moderator, I can share it in the chat. Carr is out of here from Young Emission. Danny says Taysom Hill is gone. I have a show about that tomorrow that we're going to discuss. Big Sam Robb says, I think they should draft Jalen Milroe. Well, I'm not going to share my opinions because we have different ones. All righty, let's dive into it. Skip Bayless talking about Kellen Moore. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you hit the thumbs up icon. And if you have questions, hashtag Saints or send in the super chat. We'll get you on the show. What's going on, U.S. champ? Can we just get the name badge? Christians, do you guys want to know things about Kellen Moore as a Boise State player? I can tell you. Feel free to share, Christian. Feel free to share some hot topics and some hot takes and some fun facts about Boise State football. All righty. First things first, we're talking Skip Bayless and Kellen Moore. This is going to get ugly. Skip Bayless has some very strong opinions on Kellen Moore. And he took to the Skip Bayless show and did not hold back. He absolutely ripped Kellen Moore. He ripped the Saints for the hire. And so for today's video, we're going to dive into what he said. I'm going to give my response, and it's going to get ugly. You see it right here. Kellen Moore looks more like a team's IT guy. Skip Bayless, Absolutely not. All my homies hate Skip, so give me an F Skip in the chat if you think Skip Bayless doesn't know ball, and if you think that he's just a hater. Dude's a Cowboys fan. He should be more focused on his team hiring Brian Schottenheimer than us hiring a Super Bowl champion. Yeah, get out of here, Skip. Alrighty, first things first. We're going to dive into this quote. It's a lot of quotes here, a lot of opinions, just piece by piece. We're going to break it down. So starting off here, I'm here to tell you he's a nice guy who isn't remotely qualified to be the Saints head coach. This is Skip Bayless ripping Kellen Moore right now. I hope I'm wrong for the Saints' sake, but all I can say to you after you hosted the Super Bowl in New Orleans, good luck with Kellen Moore. You know, I'm going to just be honest, makes me believe in the hire even more. Like anything Skip Bayless, if he has an opinion on something, just like the opposite is usually the truth. Just kind of being a hater on Skip right now, just going to be fully transparent. But, you know, why would I not believe in this hire? Why would I not believe Skip Bayless's thoughts when he is a notorious hater of Kellen Moore? He's been hating on Kellen Moore for years at this point. It's also a fact that Skip Bayless is a diehard Cowboys fan, and it's also a fact that Kellen Moore left the Cowboys and went on to do better things. And so he's probably a little salty about that. He's probably a little pissy. He's probably a little upset that he didn't get a little piece of that pie. More from Skip Bayless. Sure, Kellen Moore can call plays, but he has zero charisma. He's a nice guy, but zero personality. It's like my producer said to me last night, Kellen Moore looks like he should be the Eagles' IT guy. You don't see many sideline shots of Kellen Moore calling plays because he's just so uninteresting. Look, I don't care that there's not a lot of sideline shots. I don't care that there's not a lot of videos of him in the huddles. I don't care that there's not a lot of videos of him running around practice hyping guys up. To be totally honest, I don't give a shit what your leadership style is. As long as you're winning games, we're not talking about it. I mean, Kellen Moore could sit here and be dead silent, and if we're winning 15 games and competing in the Super Bowl, nobody's going to question his leadership style. However, if he's loud and he's rah-rah and he's all up in your face, things are going to be, praised if they're winning. But if they're losing, then it's going to be, well, he's too loud and he's a clown and he's just doing this all for show. So no matter what happens here, Skip Bayless is not going to have a positive outlook on Kellen Moore. And like I said, I don't care what the leadership style is. I care about winning games. If you win football games, we don't have this conversation, and you know that for a fact. Now, coming up, I'm going to be totally honest. This is absolutely insane. Skip Bayless, he called Kellen Moore a nerd. That's a fact. He called Kellen Moore a nerd. So we're going to break down what he had to say here in just a second. But really quick, I got to give a big-time shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is the best thing to keep that hiney shiny, a Tushy bidet. You think you have problems until you hear another dude fighting for his life in the toilet stall next to you. I'm going to be honest, before this show, had to take care of some business. Our Falcons Today host, he was struggling in the bathroom because he wasn't using a Tushy. 88% of people have already shit the bed on their resolutions, but you can still get your ass right by washing with a Tushy bidet. I absolutely love my Tushy bidet. I use it every single day, and most days multiple times. Instead of wiping yourself raw with toilet paper, Tushy gently removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient, fresh water. Tushy has two new ultra-sleek bidet seats, Wave and Oasis, with front and rear wash to clean all those hard-to-reach places. There's still time to get your ass right for life. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first order of a bidet from Tushy at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. Keep that hiney shiny with the Tushy bidet. All the information is in the comments and description of this video. I absolutely love Tushy, and I'm here to tell you, you will too. So go down in the comment section, check out Tushy, and get started today. So we're going to talk more about Skip Bayless and Kellen Moore here because I just think that he's just being so unfair. And I think that he's just ripping him for no reason and kind of just taking shots at him for clicks, to be totally honest. So shame on you, Skip Bayless. Let's go ahead and get our response in. He's the opposite of the commanding officer that you need running a football team. This is no natural-born leader. This is mousy quiet. Where was it written that these stat nerd play callers could become great head coaches? And sure, I can understand where he's coming from of like, he's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a big leader. Like, that's never been something that he's been highly praised for. But let's not pretend like Kellen Moore doesn't know how to lead people or lead an offense at the bare minimum. He did it at a very high level as a quarterback at Boise State. He did it at a very high level as an offensive coordinator at every stop he's been at. And Kellen Moore has learned from each stop what it takes to be a head coach. It's going so far as to saying, I have been fortunate to be around some great people, team up with them, and continue to evolve and prepare myself. And I mean, look at what the Eagles offense did. He continued to evolve. He continued to prepare himself. In each and every week, he catered to the strengths of the roster for Philadelphia. Now, obviously, the Eagles offense was a ground and pound team. And they were number 2 in rushing yards per game. They were a top 5 scoring offense. They were number 8 in yards per game. This was an elite offense, especially on the ground. But when it comes to the air, that wasn't the case. And I can understand why Skip Bayless might say, oh, he's not a good leader. He doesn't have this. But, like, look, despite this stat right here, Kellen Moore won a Super Bowl, and his offense, sure, there's a pick 6 in there, put up 40 points. I mean, what do you want else? What more do you want from him? Like, he knew that he had an elite offense with a great offensive line and a phenomenal running back in Saquon Barkley. When Jalen Hurts did throw the ball, he was effective. He just didn't have to do it all that much. So I'm going to tell you this right now, Skip. Nerds know ball. You don't, my friend. You don't know ball. Kellen Moore can be a good head coach. It doesn't matter if he's loud. It doesn't matter if he's screaming, if he's having blood vessels pop in his forehead, getting mad at refs. I don't care about all that. If you're winning football games, that doesn't matter. Skip Bayless continued to say, what has Kellen Moore ever done in his coaching career that would qualify him to be a great head coach? Do you see any Sean Payton, any of that oozing charisma that Sean had? No. Well, look, what did Kellen Moore do to earn a head coaching spot? Well, he did coach the number 5 scoring offense in the National Football League to a Super Bowl victory. Nick Sirianni's not the play caller. Kellen Moore is. Kellen Moore is a big reason why the Eagles found all of the success that they did this year. It felt like they were a team of destiny. Kellen Moore was the orchestrator of that offense. And in case you didn't know, this isn't just one good year of Kellen Moore. It's not just the Eagles season and then that 1 or 2 good years with the Cowboys. No, Kellen Moore's offenses have been elite over the past few years. I mean, he's had 4 years with Dallas, 1 year as a play caller for the Chargers, and 1 year as a play caller for the Eagles. And then throughout those, look at the accolades here. Top 10 in no-huddle rate every single year. He's a nerd, but it works. Top 10 in neutral pace every year. He's a nerd, but again, Super Bowl champion, so it works. Top 10 in offensive plays per game every year. They're staying on the offensive side of the ball. They're controlling the clock each and every game, each and every season that he has been calling an offense. He also scores a lot of points, 5 out of 6 years, top 10 in points scored. And then also on top of that, top 10 in yards per game. So Kellen Moore's offense is sure, he may not be the loudest rah-rah guy in the whole wide world. But again, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. I don't give a shit. When you're doing this, it's a pass for me. And the biggest thing to be right now, like, it has nothing to do with the leadership qualities or the leadership style he has. It has nothing to do with the offensive mind that he can bring. It has everything to do with, it's just something new. It's something different. It's something fresh. What, 20 years, 20 plus years we've been trying to do the same thing, the same song and dance, and for a while there it was awesome. Sean Payton, Drew Brees years, yeah, it was great. Ever since then, you've been trying to recreate nothing. So I'm just excited that we have something new, something fresh, something that has no ties to previous regimes. And Skip Bayless, if you're just going to be a Cowboys fan and be a hater, that's on you, my friend. But we'll come and revisit this conversation here at the end of the season. I can guarantee you that. So let me ask you this question, I should say. How do you feel about the Kellen Moore hire? Scale it for me 1 to 100 down in the comment section. 1 meaning you absolutely hate it. 100 meaning you're a big, big fan. It's the best hire they could have possibly made. Get down in the comment section, share your thoughts. I'm probably about a 78 to an 85, somewhere in that range. Like, of course, I would have loved a Ben Johnson, but like, hey, Kellen Moore, Super Bowl champion. It's a pretty good ring to it coming off of a phenomenal year. So friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We go live every single week. We go live anytime that there is any sort of big breaking news. We also provide awesome content all throughout the year, not just during the football season, not just during the offseason, 365 days a year. So be sure to subscribe. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Booyah! All righty. How do y'all feel about Kellen Moore? I'm seeing 89. 100, 94, 88, 90 because of what coaches were left. That's fair, Courtney. Carolyn says 90, 96 from Hunter, 89 from Jartavius. Andrew says 97, football 88, 89, 89, 88, 89, 88, 80. So pretty high 80s to 90s is kind of what I'm seeing a lot of. I think we're all on the same page there. I agree with you guys. I definitely agree with y'all on that one. I mean, I'm happy with it. Like, all things considered. Sure, Joe Brady would have been nice. Or Ben Johnson would have been sick. But, shoot, man. I don't think Kellen Moore is a bad consolation, all things considered. If we winning this year, it's an 100 from Tevin. Okay. Althea says 100. Greg says 100. If we're winning games this year, it's an 100 from Tevin. Jerry says he's changing his to 100. Blue Fan says... #Saints thoughts on getting rid of vets to clear up cap space. We will answer that in the mailbag. Appreciate your question, my friend. If you guys haven't already, use #Saints in the super chat to get on the mailbag. We did get a super chat there, Lopez, during the segment. You're Gucci, brother. You're Gucci. Mikey Taylor checking in with the $5 super chat. Skip is a damn fool. So we have the GFX3. There's a GFX3 super chat because this one needs like a something up here because there's like this is supposed to be like the watch bar one, so there's supposed to be scoreboard, player top, list 2 top, something up there. So Skip is a damn fool. I agree with you. I think he is a fool. Jerry asking, did you enjoy Super Bowl week in New Orleans? I did. I had a blast. I absolutely love New Orleans. It was great to be back. It's been a few years since I was back in New Orleans. I just got to say, shout out to the city. They absolutely showed out. It was clean. It was safe. Everyone was so kind. Everyone was so nice. You would have never known that there was some crazy event that happened less than 40 days ago, or less than 45 days ago. I just got to say, shout out to the city of New Orleans. I mean, unbelievable week. Without question, should be in the 5-year rotation for a Super Bowl. Bones asking, where was Carr? Good question. I didn't see a lot of them. All right, we're going to get into the next segment here. Hunter says, draft Will Howard 3rd or 4th and put no. I'm not drafting Will Howard 3rd round. What do you think about draft? Okay, Nick Lopez, for the record, is from Louisiana, so I want to get his thoughts. What do you think about drafting Will Howard in the 3rd or 4th round? The only time I'm drafting Will Howard is in the 6th or 7th round. Honestly, probably not even. Maybe only the 7th. If you take, I'll tell you what. The only quarterback I'll take is Jackson Dart in the 6th. That's the only pick I'm making. If Jackson Dart is there in the 6th or 7th, sure. Why not? Other than that, nope. I don't want Quinn. I don't want you're not getting Shador. You're not getting Cam. No, I'm not either. This quarterback class sucks. No, you know ball, Lopez. This quarterback class is trash. I would rather just wait till next year. Will Howard or Bo Nix? Queen Courtney. I'm going to go Bo Nix. And that should say something here. That should say, yeah, that he proved me wrong. Bo Nix has proven me wrong. I'm still going to hold out hope that I think he's bad. He just had a good rookie season. Y'all love reminding me that I said Bo Nix is trash. Yeah, it's only been 1 year. Yeah. He could still be bad. Look what happened to CJ Stroud year 2. Not bad, but not as good. Courtney says Trace doesn't like either one of them. Let me put it this way, Quinn Courtney. No. Andrew says, hey, Trace, remember me? It's Andrew. I was in your first watch party about 2 months ago, and I'm finally out of high school and back on the streams. They let me graduate early. No way. Congrats, Andrew. I hope you're up to some cool stuff. That's so cool. Congratulations on the early graduation. Welcome back, and I hope to see you around in the future, my friend. Thank you for tuning back in. Speaking of that, Andrew, it's a good little segue and to get us into our next segment. We're going to do some draft rumors. Lather the pipes. We're going to get started. Let me pull this up here. Cool. All righty. We're going to talk some draft rumors because the draft is important and the Saints have a top 10 pick and, quite frankly, big discussion topic. So without further ado, whenever Lopez is ready, we're going to break it down. What's going on, Saints fans? In today's video, we got some draft rumors after the New Orleans Saints have hired Kellen Moore. The move has been made official. We haven't talked about the draft yet, so this will be our first official video. After Kellen Moore has been hired, we're going to talk about some draft targets, go through a couple mock drafts, and see what everyone thinks the Saints are going to do this offseason, now with Kellen Moore running the show. So really quick, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and I just got to make a quick statement. The Saints absolutely have to crush this draft. They do not have the chance, and they do not have the opportunity to screw this up. So if you agree with me, hit the sub button for 100% free content. All right, so first thing I want to discuss is Ashton Jeanty. Obviously, he is a name that a lot of people have been discussing, not just around Saints media, but across all of the NFL media landscape, especially due to the ties from Boise State, from Jeanty and Kellen Moore. I've seen multiple mock drafts. I've seen multiple draft target videos. I've seen multiple blogs and all sorts of stuff linking Ashton Jeanty to the New Orleans Saints in round 1 at number 9 specifically, or maybe even like training back to like 12, 13, that kind of stuff. But in round 1, I've seen a lot of buzz around Ashton Jeanty and the Saints. And, you know, you guys might be like, oh, who's this chunky white guy that's talking about the Saints? I don't even know him. He's not from Louisiana. He doesn't know anything about anything. Well, I'm here to tell you, friend of the program, very good colleague, belated birthday boy for the record, Ross Jackson. He's also been high on this idea too. I've discussed it. He's discussed it. We both talked about it on our show. I had him on for an interview in Radio Row, and we broke it down then. So if you want to hear his thoughts, go check it out. It's on the channel. It's a really, really good interview. But long story short, I'm not the only one who has this idea. And if you're sitting here at home thinking this is a terrible idea, I can understand why. But just hear me out real quick. And if you want to hear Ross's thoughts, I have a little bit of a snippet here. Listen to this whole show. There's a lot of good insight. But really quick, I thought this was especially interesting in this video about Ashton Jeanty. The first-round running back is back. This is all about getting a generational playmaker that can come in and be the number 1 option in Kellen Moore's offense and eventually take over for Alvin Kamara in that way. He'd be a good partner with Alvin Kamara. And you know, I think Ashton Jeanty is an all-around running back. And one thing I want to explicitly highlight with that quote is that he could eventually take over for Alvin Kamara. Sure, do you draft Ashton Jeanty at number 9 to be your running back 2? No, not necessarily. But when you have Alvin Kamara, who's still playing at a very high level, you don't know what's going on behind the Alvin Kamara on their depth chart. Feels like running back's a good need, and you just saw what he did, what Kellen Moore did with Saquon Barkley in a quality offensive squad and an emphasis on the rushing attack. And there is the argument. Like, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. There is the argument that this running back class is deep. And, you know, that's true. You can get a playmaker in pretty much any round, but not every player and not every running back is a generational talent. Not every running back is a guy who's going to just absolutely change the dynamic of your offense, like Ashton Jeanty. So I'll argue, sure, the running back class is deep, but so is the offensive line and defensive line class. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that you have to invest O-line or D-line in round 1. Like, I think that you can really just pick a great player. Don't pick a project. Don't pick a position in need. Pick a great player who has proven tape, who has proven to be a successful player at a high level. And sure, Ashton Jeanty in the college football playoff got shut down, but that doesn't take away all of the other 2,000 yards he had over the course of the season. So for me, I think that the New Orleans Saints can really win and focus on hitting in the middle rounds. Take a high-level player early. Crush those middle rounds, and those late picks, just whatever you need, whatever you got, whatever's available, just take them. But in the fourth round, you can really do some damage, especially in that third and fourth round. You can do some really good stuff with a lot of picks, a lot of quality draft capital. So this running back duo, this future duo right here, I think that this could be the future of the New Orleans Saints. Ross Jackson thinks it. I think it. Him and I have a lot of similar thoughts on this, but it's your turn to sound off. Would you draft Ashton Jeanty at number 9 overall? Just type draft or pass in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Now, coming up next, we're going to dive into some draft rumors from ESPN and the NFL Network. They both put out mock drafts. NFL Network's was a 3-round mock draft. ESPN's was just a 1-round. So we're going to dive into who the experts think the Saints are going to pick now that they got their head coach. Really quickly, just got to give a friendly reminder to subscribe again to the channel. We give you guys free content. We give you guys free videos, and we go live every single week. And want to just say big-time shout-out to y'all. We've gained 267 subs in the last 7 days. So just got to say thank you guys so much for the awesome growth we've experienced over the last week. That being said, can we get to 300? We only need 33 more, and we can do that with this video, so help your boy out. Hit that sub button for free Saints videos. Alrighty, so the ESPN mock draft, we're going to dive into who all went before the New Orleans Saints. They select at number 9, and for ESPN, this is how the mock draft shook out. Obviously, Travis Hunter, he's going to go number 1. Abdul Carter at number 2. Cam Ward at number 3. I really think that the top 3 you could argue in any direction. It could be Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Cam Ward in any order. Throw Shedeur Sanders into the mix as well. That gets kind of confusing. But the fact that in this ESPN mock draft that Mykel Williams and Jalen Walker went before the Saints pick left a very interesting and very high-level target available. And so ESPN had the Saints select. ESPN had the Saints select Tetero McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. And, you know, just to reference something that Ross Jackson has mentioned, he views him as a generational player. And, you know, I think that Tet McMillan is one of those guys that that fills exactly what the Saints need. He fills a void. He fits the need of what the Saints don't have as a pass catcher. So ESPN on the mock draft here, as the Saints navigate a tricky rebuild, the wide receiver falls as the Saints navigate a tricky rebuild, wide receiver falls among the areas they must address sooner rather than later. Chris Olave missed time because of concussions this season. Rashid Shaheed is coming off a knee injury, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a free agent. McMillan is a huge wideout at 6'5", 210 pounds, who can run clean routes and has an incredible catch radius to snag balls thrown outside his frame. He was 3rd in receiving this season and could be an asset in the red zone. And the New Orleans Saints definitely could use a guy like Tet McMillan in the red zone. They could also use a guy like Tet McMillan just, quite frankly, any spot on the field. This wide receiver group lacks depth. I mean, behind Chris Olave and behind Rashid Shaheed, you don't really know what else is going on. Bub Means, he showed some good things, but he's young and he got hurt, so got to see what you got there. MVS, I'm all for bringing him back. But with the New Orleans Saints, they have a lot of size. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of speed. They're very, very fast. They don't have a lot of size, though. Like, Tet McMillan fits exactly what the Saints need, and I think that he would be an excellent addition to the New Orleans Saints. And I would love him to be the pick at number 9. If Tet McMillan is available at number 9 overall, you better be sprinting to the stage to lock that pick in so that way the Saints can have Tet McMillan. I think that he would be awesome. I view him kind of as like an A.J. Brown role, Michael Thomas role type guy. And we saw what happened with Kellen Moore with that kind of player. Pretty good things on the Eagles offense. Now, let's go to the NFL Network 3-round mock draft. They put out a 3-round mock draft that I personally think Kellen Moore would absolutely love. 2 offensive players and a defensive player that I think has not a lot of production, but a high ceiling to definitely reach. So for that 3-round mock draft, here's how it shook out for the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Warren at number 9 overall, Shamar Stewart at number 40, and then Trey Harris at number 71. I will say this for Tyler Warren, big fan of his work. Big fan of Tyler Warren. I want to make that explicitly clear here. That being said, if it's Tyler Warren at number 9, or if it's like Harold Fannin at 71, like I think I'm going Harold Fannin at 71. I just feel like number 9 is a little bit of a reach for Tyler Warren. That being said, it's a big need for the Saints. They need a tight end. Juwan Johnson, he's a free agent. We're going to have to see how things shake out. So let's go to NFL Network on Tyler Warren. With Juwan Johnson entering free agency and Foster Moreau in a big contract year, the team could use a big man like Tyler Warren in the middle of the field to complement a healthy Chris Olave in 2025. And don't forget, you also have Dallin Holker on the roster, who's an undrafted free agent. He was viewed as like the Saints' 8th-round pick is kind of how they were advertising him all throughout last training camp and everything. Got some action, not a lot of action, so obviously maybe things can grow there and maybe things can develop there. But tight end is a position need for the New Orleans Saints. I like the idea of Tyler Warren. I think he's a very good player, and to be totally honest, it's exactly a big position to need, so I wouldn't hate it. And especially if this pick hits, nobody's going to be batting an eye about this. It's the same thing with Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions. Same thing I would say about Ashton Jeanty. If the pick hits and we love it and he's playing really good, nobody's going to blame you for it. Nobody's going to make fun of you for it. At the moment, sure, but let time pass and we'll see kind of how things roll out. Now, let's talk Shamar Stewart, the defensive lineman from Texas A&M on the outside of the D-line. He's an edge rusher, 6'6", 290 pounds. This guy is a gargantuan human being. Now, Ted McMillan, I'm a big fan of his, but with Shamar Stewart, I think that he is a player the New Orleans Saints could benefit from having on the defensive line. Shamar Stewart, he is very explosive. He lacks production. You can see that based on his stats, but, at the end of the day, I think that he does have some nice traits. The scouts in the NFL also believe that as well, and I think that he does have some things that can develop into some quality football. A little bit hesitant with this one because I don't necessarily want to draft players who are good development pieces or good traits. Not great. Like I'd rather just go get proven players. But I guess Shamar Stewart. I guess I can be okay with this pick. I don't love it, but it is what it is. Trey Harris. He is actually a wide receiver from Ole Miss that grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. Fun fact. 6'3", 210 pounds. If you miss out on Ted McMillan, I'll tell you what, Trey Harris is an excellent consolation prize. He's a prototypical guy when it comes to being a big-bodied pass catcher. He is a very strong possession wide receiver. He does have yards after catch ability. And on top of that, he's very versatile as a wide receiver. You can line him up either on the outside, on the slot. You can line him up really anywhere you want. And then on top of that, as a run blocker, he is very solid. He's willing to do it. And that's something that I really like in a wide receiver. I think Trey Harris would be a massive steal for what it's worth in the 3rd round. I would take him in the 2nd round as early as that. That's just me. I love the idea of getting Trey Harris on this team. And I think that if you go, for example, like, let's say you go Ashton Jeanty round 1, somebody in round 2, Trey Harris round 3, that is awesome. Or let's say you go like Mason Graham round 1, Cam Scatterby round 2, Trey Harris round 3. Like, I'm okay with that. I really like the idea of Trey Harris. He's got proven production, over 17 yards per catch. The dude's an absolute dog. So, there's a lot of things the Saints could do at the number 9 overall pick. They could trade up. They could trade back. They could just make a pick. What should they do? And if they should make a pick, who should they select? Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate everyone for taking the time out of the day to watch this video. We will see you next time. All righty. What would you do with the first round pick at number 9 overall? What are y'all thinking? Jeanty round 1, Trey Harris round 2 from B Jammin'. McMillan round 1, Scatterby round 2. I like that as well. I like that. Trey Harris is special. I agree with you, B Jammin'. Feeds Alpha says Trey would be a solid pick. Ethan wants to draft Quinn Ewers. I think I'll pass. I actually was very high on for a while on Quinn Ewers. And I still would consider myself a believer in Quinn Ewers. I think he has the traits. I mean, as a high schooler, I watched him play high school football here in the DFW area at South Lake Carroll. I mean, it's effortless for him. He's naturally just a great thrower of the football. It's just a matter of him putting all the pieces together and being a high-level quarterback. Like, that's not everyone can do that, so we'll have to see what happens. But what do y'all think we should do at number 9? And also, if you haven't already, use hashtag Saints. Better yet, send in a super chat to get on the show. If you send in a super chat, you skip the line and we get to spend a little extra time on your question. So, yeah, pretty fun stuff there. Yep. Get on the show. Use hashtag Saints. Better yet, send in a super chat. What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? Alrighty. Whenever I get the thumbs up from Lopez, we'll be good to go here. I'm actually going to push this short out now. I was supposed to put it at 7:30, but I'm going to push it now. Oh, you're all good. You're all good. No, you're all good. All right, we only got the one, so no big deal, but you're chilling. Yeah, you're all good, brother. Ain't no thing, Lopez. Everyone say shout. Everyone type Lopez in the chat. He's been absolutely crushing it today. He worked very fast. He worked very hard today. We got to just show him some love. Give a big shout out to him. Ethan says Landon Jackson or Shamar Stewart. Landon Jackson without question. I'm taking Landon Jackson 100%. And that is only partially because I'm an Arkansas Razorback grad. Mikey, B. Jammin, Ethan, Kyron, all showing love to Lopez. Would I trade the 9th overall pick for Myles Garrett? Yes, without even thinking about it, but he won't come to New Orleans. He wants to go to a contender. He's made that very clear. Huh? It is very fun to think about, but unfortunately he will not come to the New Orleans Saints. You think we'll draft players from LSU now? Maybe, Feeds. Maybe. No. Mason Taylor, though, maybe. I wish. No, dude, I want nothing to do with Kyron Lacy. No, thank you. I will pass. This is after the incident. I want nothing to do with it. Who's the is it Whit Weeks? Yeah, is it Will? What's his name? Whit Weeks? Whit Weeks is the linebacker for LSU, right? Yeah. Next year, I want him. I want him next year. I'm not even shitting you. I'd take him round 1 next year. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you put Whit Weeks with Pete Werner, I mean, you got your own exciting whites right there. Like the Eagles. You could recreate the exciting whites. You know, it's pretty crazy. Also, Whit Weeks is just a freaking dog, dude. He is so good. He was a menace to my Arkansas Razorbacks, unfortunately. Absolute legacy game for him in that situation. Cool. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna get into a mailbag. If you have a question, use hashtag Saints, send in a super chat, and we'll get you on the program. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. If you guys have a question during the show, it's not too late, so be sure to pepper the chat. 10 to 12 minutes of questions. So, without further ado, hashtag Saints, super chat, mailbag time. What's going on, Saints fans? Welcome into another mailbag here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. We are taking questions and hot takes from our subscribers on our weekly live show every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to be a part of the fun next week, be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss out. Let's start off with 313 Ryda. Do you think that we should cut Derek Carr? Now, it's like a tough conversation, to be totally honest. Yes, I think we should cut Derek Carr. No matter what way you do this, whether you cut him or you restructure him, it's not going to go well. Like, you're going to have to pay the piper either way. So, in my opinion, I think you just go ahead and cut him. Because even if you structure him, it's not like that money won't be there next year. I say you cut him, you just move forward, and you just that be that. That's kind of my take on it. Otherwise, like, I don't think he's going to get traded. But, yeah, I would just go ahead and cut him right now. That's just my personal thoughts on that 313 Ryder. Thank you for asking, though. All right, next question. Jaden, Trace, if the Saints got a combination of ACCS and TH, how awesome would that be for the Saints? Is that I don't even know. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. I got nothing. I'm sorry. Blue fan base. Jaden, if you want to try again, ask again. Blues fan base says, thoughts on getting rid of vets to clear up cap space? Yeah, I mean, you got to do that at some point. I would be willing. I'm not going to cut Taysom Hill. I'm not going to yet. I'm going to keep him on the roster. And honestly, I'd try and trade him at the deadline. You save $10 million if you trade him in, after June 1st. And on top of that, you got to clear up money somewhere. You can't just like keep paying money to people who aren't giving you good production. So, yeah, I mean, tough conversations are going to have to be had. Tough things are going to have to decisions going to have to be made. Cam Jordan could be on the outlook or could be retiring. Taysom Hill could possibly retire. Tyrann Mathieu could be moved. Demario Davis, there's going to be some players that we all love, fan favorites that are not going to be on this roster, and it's going to be a hard conversation. So, for the betterment of the team, yeah, but for my own heart, it sucks to see him go. Mikey Taylor, what tight end would you want if they are all on the board still at round 2? I mean, if everyone's on the board at round 2, give me Tyler Warren. I really also love Harold Fannin. I'm a big, big fan of Harold Fannin, but Tyler Warren's there at 40. You got to take him. I mean, that's just such good value right there. Thank you for the question, and thank you for the super chat, Mikey. Not Kellen Moore says, I saw Deebo Samuel could get traded. Ooh, this is interesting. Should the Saints do it? I'm going to be totally honest. I haven't looked necessarily at the contract for Deebo Samuel, so I'd have to look at the financials. But in terms of a player, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I get some people are going to say Deebo Samuel's washed, this, that, and the other, but I think that Deebo Samuel is about the closest thing currently in the National Football League to Taysom Hill. So if you wanted to do that, I think you could, and you want to try and recreate it to a little bit of a degree, I think you could. I also think Deebo Samuel is still a tremendous athlete for what it's worth. All righty, I just got to tell you guys, the bosses, they're kind of been up my ass recently. They wanted to start a Bucks channel. I told them, don't do that. We convinced them not to. But now they're saying they want to start a Panthers channel. They're like, well, the Panthers beat the Saints, and the Panthers went on all these games where they almost won and rattled off a couple wins there late, so they're a hot team. We got to start a channel for them. I did tell them, let's make a deal here. If we get 1,000 likes, can we push this off another month? They said yes. So if we get 1,000 likes on this video, I asked you to like the video earlier. I'm going to ask you to do it again. Like this video if you want the New Orleans Saints now by Chat Sports to be the main top channel for Chat Sports in the NFC South. If you don't want a Panthers channel, hit the thumbs up icon, like this video. Now, really quickly, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks, the best way to win money during the basketball season. Which players are going to go off? Which players aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long with Prize Picks. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season, and it's the best way to get action in sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Now, Prize Picks already has projections for a lot of professional football players next season, and I absolutely love it. I love looking ahead. It's like Brock Bowers is definitely getting over 1,100 yards, so that's free money. I'm going to take that. Jane Daniels, very high on him, and then Saquon Barkley. We saw what he did this year. I think he can recreate a little bit of that next year, so I'm going to take the more on all of it. At the end of the day, life's too short to project a less. So get started with Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS when you download the Prize Picks app to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Prize Picks. Run your game. Alrighty, football goats. Do you think the Saints are getting Fields and dropping Carr? I don't know. My thing is, I don't think the Saints are going to go be big spenders at the quarterback position. I think if they move on from Carr, they're just going to roll the dice with Spencer Rattler and see what happens. That doesn't mean they won't sign a Jacoby Brissett, a Jameis Winston, one of those type guys for a vet minimum, or like a Geno Smith or something like that. But I don't think that you're going to spend money. Justin Fields deserves more than the vet minimum, in my opinion. I'd be open to it. I don't think that it's as likely. Plus, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of conflicting reports. The Steelers want Russell Wilson. Steelers actually favor Justin Fields. Well, Russell Wilson could go to the Raiders with Pete Carroll. There's a lot of stuff happening there. So we'll have to see what happens with the Steelers first. I think Justin Fields would pick, if he could, to stay in Pittsburgh. Kyron, what if the Saints trade up in the draft to get no, I'm good. No, not worth it. Shedeur Sanders, no quarterback in this draft class. To be totally honest, there's not a player in this draft class I would trade up for except for Abdul Carter. That's the only player I'm trading up for. I have no desire of drafting Shedeur Sanders or trading up, giving rid of more capital. To get him. I have no desire to trade up and give away capital to try and get Cam Ward. No. This quarterback class is not good enough to justify that. Absolutely the frick not. But thank you for the question, Kyron. Courtney, would you take Genty or Scattaboo? I'm going to assume Genty round 1, Scattaboo round 2. This is tough because I love Cam Scattaboo, and he is like my favorite running back prospect. But Ashton Genty he's a generational talent. And I just think that he is a phenomenal football player. I think Ashton Genty is a guy that, there is the connection to Kellen Moore, being that they're both Boise State Broncos. And I just think that Ashton Genty might be more all-around ready right now. I'm going to take Ashton Genty over the two. But I love Cam Scattaboo. Don't get it twisted. I love Cam Scattaboo. I'd absolutely be happy and be stoked about that pick. I'd be stoked about either of those. Atlanta Falcons. That's hilarious. Cut Derek Carr. Bring back Jameis Winston. Did you see him at Super Bowl week? If you're asking about Carr, no. Did not see Derek Carr once at Super Bowl week. I was out in New Orleans on Radio Row. I was out there on Bourbon Street. We were out on Canal. We were in the city. We were doing it. Did not see or hear a peep about or from Derek Carr the entire time. Meanwhile, Jameis Winston was quite literally the MVP of the week. He had a better week than the Philadelphia Eagles at the Super Bowl. I'd be all in on this, to be totally honest. It's very obvious Jameis Winston wants to be in New Orleans. It's very obvious he loves this city. I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to sign him to go and win you a bunch of games. But for a bridge quarterback to come in a pinch, if Spencer Rattler gets hurt or you absolutely need somebody, sure, why not? He's not going to go and win you 10 games. To be honest, it's probably a good thing. So, sure, why not do this? It's just for the fun. I mean, the vibes would be amazing just for what it's worth. I know a lot of y'all would rather have Derek Carr than Winston. Carr is better than Winston for what it's worth, but you can't tell me that it wouldn't be more fun with Jameis. All right, Aiden, how do you feel about the Saints getting D-line at number 9? Maybe James Pierce Jr.? I do like defensive line at number 9. When it comes to the New Orleans Saints and picking at 9, I think James Pierce Jr. might be a little bit of a stretch at 9. I would be willing to trade back to the 15, anywhere from the 12 to 20 range. I think you could still get him. On top of that, if Mason Graham's there, I'm going Mason Graham at 9 over James Pierce. It doesn't mean I don't like James Pierce. I just I think 9 is a little bit of a reach, but yeah, I do like going defensive line in round 1. All right, if you guys are excited for Mardi Gras, let the good times roll. Hit that thumbs up icon, like this video. Second reminder, if you haven't already, we're trying to prevent the bosses from getting Panthers chat sports started. So let's go ahead and just prevent that from ever happening. Like the video. Also, if you're excited for Mardi Gras, hit the thumbs up icon. King Cake, I am so excited to eat you. Mikey Taylor, $2 super chat. Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold? Can I say no? Is no an option? I'll tell you no, and I'll tell you why for both of them. No for Aaron Rodgers. Don't want to deal with it. Don't want to deal with the crazy. I don't want to spend the money on it. I don't want to have to manage it. I would rather just start building something for the future. Tired of signing old, expensive players. Sam Darnold, kind of the opposite. He's young, but he's still going to be expensive. He earned himself a lot of money this year. He was very, very good. So I'm going to say no to both. That's my take. Jernbo, if the Saints cut Derek Carr, would you bring back Thomas for a year? Look, I mean, I guess I guess the Michael Thomas rumors are back on. Dennis Allen's gone. If Derek Carr's gone, feels like that's who he had the beef with. That and Jeff Duncan. I mean, he's gone, guys. He was off for a whole year. Players don't come back after being off a whole year and play well again. No. He was great. I love Mike Thomas. I'll forever love what he did, but we've already put this to rest. Let's keep it that way. Coach Trizzy, what's going on, Coach? I've seen Micah Parsons trade rumors. I don't care. Get Micah to the Saints. Okay. I'm with you. Micah to the Saints would fix a lot of problems for what it's worth, and it would be an awesome investment. I think that'd be an investment that 100% pays off. It's going to cost you a lot, not just in terms of capital to get Micah Parsons, but in terms of paying him too. And The Cowboys, they're a poorly run organization right now, so maybe you could try and fleece them. But, man, I'm all in on going to try and get Micah Parsons. I just don't think it's very realistic. I think that he wants to go to a contender. I think he would rather go make a lot of money. And quite frankly, the Saints don't have money to spend on a guy like Micah Parsons, which, hopefully here in a couple of years we do, because that means our cap space is figured out, and that means we are hopefully competing to win football games again. So, that's what we're looking forward to. Just get back on track this year, and then let's start building in the following years. All right, Saints fans, thank you guys so much for tuning into our mailbag. Maybe a little bit of longer video, but, of course, we always appreciate y'all for hanging out. If you guys tuned into the whole video, give me a real one down in the comment section. That way I know who the legends are in the chat. Thank y'all so much. Y'all stay golden. We will see you next time. Booyah. Let's go. All righty. Coolio. What should the Saints do at number 9 overall? We're going to set a 2-minute shot clock. If no super chats come in, we're out of here. What time is your watch party, Lopez? Cool. All right, 2-minute shot clock here. If we don't get a super chat in 2 minutes, then we're signing off. If we get a super chat, we'll stay live for another few minutes. Then we'll reset the clock. Some good content there, no? Y'all enjoy the live or what? Did y'all enjoy the live show? If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I feel like that was a fun little live. Got a lot of good content out there. I feel like we got a good show today. That was fun. A lot of unique things to discuss. Oh yeah, let's go back to this one. Do you like the Kellen Moore hire? Yes or no? Do you guys like the hire? I like it. I'm a big fan. 73% gave it an A grade. 22 gave it a B grade, 3% gave it a C, and 2% gave it an F out of 441 votes. Not that high. He was in my top half. My top 3, and it changed every day. So my top 3 in no particular order, knowing you weren't going to get Ben Johnson ever. Just play guys that were confirmed to interview at least. In no particular order, Mike Vrabel, Aaron Glenn, Joe Brady. I really liked all 3 of those options. I also really liked the idea of, all right, CTM resets the clock. Whoop, yeah, you're good. We'll reset it here. We'll reset it whenever CTM's super chat goes on. But then I never was high on Kafka. I didn't hate the idea of Anthony Weaver. I just was like, I'd rather have an offensive mind. Didn't hate Darren Rizzi, but again, I'd rather have a young offensive mind. Like my whole take the entire time was I just want a young, smart offensive mind. That's all I want. I don't want defense. I just want somebody who can be a play caller. Yeah, I want something new and I want something fresh, and that's what we got. I mean, he's the youngest coach in the National Football League, so you want young and new. You got it. You did it. Good job there. You got it. So there you go. All righty. We're going to reset the shot clock here. Justin says, you're a rock star, Trace. We support you. Who dat? I appreciate you guys. If you guys do want to support me, I post a lot on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, so feel free to give me a follow. I'll drop my links in the chat real quick. If you follow me right now, I'll give you a shout out. And also, I want to take a quick second to say a special appreciation to Nick Lopez for being absolutely a rock star today. CTM, T-Mac falls to 9. I'm 100% drafting him, and if not, Ashton Genty. CTM, I am with you, and with that, reset the shot clock. I'm with you. I 100% would draft T-Mac if he's available at number 9. Like, there's just no doubt about it. It's too easy. My fear, though, is like, are the Panthers going to let him get past? Like, it's going to be tough. Are the Panthers going to let him go? Do what? Yeah, there's going to be a couple wild card picks here, too. Mikey Taylor, $2 super chat. We'll reset it again. He says, is T-Mac the best wide receiver in the draft? I think so. I think he's the most complete. I think he's the most ready wide receiver in the draft. I think he's the best all-around wide receiver. I've been very high on Ted McMillan this entire time. I'm all in on it. Jade says, my question was if the Saints got a combination of Abdul Carter, Cam Scotto, and Trey Harris. Wasn't even close. I was thinking Travis Hunter and something. If they got that, that'd be awesome. Abdul Carter is not making it to the 9th pick, though. That's just the unfortunate reality. Mikey Taylor, is T-Mac the best? Yes, he is the best wide receiver this draft class. I also really like Luther Burden. I really like Trey Harris. Emeka Egbuka is also solid. But I'd probably go with my top three. I also like Savion Williams. Is that the TCU guy? Savion. Is it Savion Williams? Savion something. Savion Thomas feels right. I don't know. That Savion guy from TCU, and then Jack Besh. I really like Jack Besh out of TCU. Really big fan of his. 1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining. Send in a super chat, otherwise we hop off. Otherwise we out of here. Thomas says, love your channel. Appreciate all the contacts you put out. Wish I was in your position to support your channel, but I'm not. But I do tune into all the live content. Thomas, do not ever apologize for not being able to send in a super chat. Super chats are 100% extracurriculars. The only thing we ask you guys to do if you guys really want to support us is like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and tune into all of the content. I really do appreciate you, Thomas. Anybody who does send in a super chat, obviously, thank you so much. But, anybody who just is a supporter of me, who likes what we do, you're good in my eyes. You're family in my book. So no harm, no foul. 15 seconds left. Otherwise, we're signing off out of here. Did you get my Ashton Genty question from Jeremy? I did not see it. Oh, if Genty's available when the Saints pick, should we pick him? Yes. I think we should, Jeremy. I'm going to say yes. Queen Courtney, I will see you later. I hope you have a wonderful evening. The timer is now buzzing. We'll do a 10-second countdown. 10. Damn it. Mikey. All right, 60 seconds this time because it came after came after. Mikey keeps us live, so we'll reset, but we're going to do 60 seconds this time. Jerry says, you rock. No, Jerry, you rock. I rock, but you rule. 60 seconds this time. It'll go back to 2 minutes if somebody sends in $20. That's how we bump it back up. If you want us to stay live for another hour, send in 100. I'll self-produce another live show for another hour. If somebody sends in 100, I will stay live for another hour, and then we'll actually go. And Lopez said he would do a beer bong. There you go. Kyron says, I found you through Safari. But you have 30 seconds to get that in. So there you go. You rock, Trace. Thank you, Jerry. Do you think Derek Carr will get cut from the Orleans? I think so, Seth. If T-Mac, Genty, or Abdul Carter are the board at 9, I'm going Abdul Carter. I'm going out. If Abdul Carter's at 9, there's nothing stopping me from taking Abdul Carter. You need a guy like him. You need a pass rusher. All righty. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, Ken Fox is telling me go home and feed dude, so that's what I'm going to do. Mikey Taylor, thank you so much for those super chats, brother. As always, you're a legend. I always appreciate you, my friend. Christian says, again, I'm new here. This is my first ever live stream. Christian, thank you for tuning in. Mikey, I appreciate you. I love you, brother, and I love every single member of the Who Dat Nation. Y'all are my family. Y'all are my best friends, and I absolutely appreciate y'all. Y'all stay golden. A lot of content coming at you. We'll see you next time.